Mountain Bike Adrenaline is an extreme sports, off-road style racing game that was released for the PlayStation in 2007 and would be developed by a crowd known as Fresh 3D and published by Valcon Games. And the goal is to utilise various tricks racing downhill using mountain bikes. The game would have a very direct look and feel and even take inspiration from other types of games even seen on the PS1 when you look at the very popular No Fear downhill mountain biking game that would have been seen on the original PlayStation, and that is actually a really good game. So where does this game stack up amongst the variety of different types of extreme sports games that were available on the system? Well, the game does have some nice ideas in terms of its trick system and various elements in terms of its gameplay speed, and it has some decent enough graphics that is represented, but the game is very lackluster in how it approaches what it's trying to do. The ideas, while very good in concept, aren't executed well, as the controls are very clunky, the camera system is brutal and pretty much non-existent, as you can get lost as to know where you are at any given time. Plus sometimes you get caught on different rocks and traps as you're traversing through the different terrain in each of the levels, and the sense of speed is just not as quick as you would expect from a game like this. Coupled with that, with some of the challenge modes that can be very frustrating, where you have to do and race on obstacle courses where you have to compete and earn medals by racing to the end point in a certain time, but you have to go over different types of terrain and even obstacles like, say, wooden bridges or logs or planks, and you have to do it in such a way that you don't fall off. And the problem with it is that if you fall off at any point, it resets you. No matter where you are on the track, it resets you back to the very start point of the level, and you have to complete the entire process over again. And this in itself can lead to an extremely frustrating and very lackluster experience. The game will drive you mad at points, let's just put it that way. So much so that it is reflective in its reviews, as even on IGN and a couple of other websites the game was slated, considering that it was poorly executed. But they did state themselves that the game does have some really nice ideas, but it's just, it would have needed a bigger development budget or even a bigger development team to work on it to execute some of the flaws and issues that are in the game, which is a pity. But there's a lot of games like that out there, and especially when you look at the likes of the PS2. For the multitude of games that are on the system, there's a ton of them that had so much potential with so many great ideas, but just never hit the mark and always fell short. Now, they still would appeal to some players, but the majority of people would usually pass on them, and it would quickly reflect in the price drops of the games, as more often than not long after the games would be released, you'd find them in bargain bins all across the shops wherever you would go. And this is another one of those games that would have fallen into that category, as it just missed the mark on so many different factors that in some cases, for many people, the game is unplayable to some degree, which is a pity, as it does have some good ideas, but that's really all it boils down to, is it has nice ideas but very little else in terms of its gameplay, which is a shame really, because there isn't too many off-road or extreme sports games that would have been in this style that would have been seen on the PS2. So for the ones that you would get, you would nearly expect them to be of a better quality, but it is what it is. It's another one of those games you can check out if you are into extreme sports games. Yes, it is playable and it does have some quirky elements that you might like, but it's just let down because of the clunky controls and poor camera settings, and among a few other elements. But I would love to know your thoughts on this game, if you have played it yourself, and if so, what did you think of it overall? Or are you a fan of these type of extreme sports games that would have been seen on the PS2? Be sure to share it in the comments below, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated with future videos. And you would like to see more content on the channel around other types of extreme sports games similar to this that were also released on the PS2, and you can check out the playlist on screen to see more of those games in action. And I will see you all in the next one.